In today's cultural landscape, arrogance is often touted as a hallmark of strength and empowerment in women. From glossy magazines to social media platforms, it's portrayed as a quality that commands attention and admiration. However, beneath this facade lies a stark truth. Arrogance, far from attracting quality men, repels them. High-value men seek partners whose strength complements their own, rooted in authenticity rather than ego-driven posturing. For women navigating the complexities of modern relationships, understanding and embodying these fundamental truths can profoundly reshape their romantic pursuits. This journey begins with shedding the misconceptions that perpetuate arrogance and embracing the principles that truly foster lasting connection and mutual respect. Lesson 1. Attention is earned, not owed. The phone notifications never stop pinging for most women. Dates, messages, likes, follows incessantly demanding attention. Arrogant women operate under the flawed assumption this free attention is their birthright, developing egos disconnected from reality. High-value men don't fuel this entitled mindset with unconditional validation. They'll confidently introduce themselves to create a genuine spark of connection, but quickly, the free attention stops flowing as he refocuses on his purpose and priorities. The arrogant woman is left paying the price for assuming any man's undivided attention was preordained. She's now driven to gain his approval through mutually invested efforts. For an arrogant woman used to being constantly fawned over, this reality check can be disorienting, but it forces her to realize romantic attention isn't supplied on demand but refined through giving as much as receiving. High-value men show appreciation isn't unconditional but reciprocal. Adjust your self-centered expectations accordingly. Lesson 2. People of purpose are prioritized. While arrogant women idly post selfie after selfie, chasing vanity metrics, high-value men steadily grind towards life goals fueled by driving inner motivations. Their ambitions are intoxicating, uplifting inspirations completely disconnected from shallow social posturing. This is what compels high-value men's attraction: action. People embodying realized visions and purpose. Arrogant women lack the awareness to cultivate purposeful missions extending beyond thirst-trapping validation. Their lives are stagnant streams of navel-gazing posts and ego trips, never growing into impactful pursuits. High-value men can't help but feel underwhelmed by what superficial, arrogant women convey about themselves. If you're stuck projecting an endless loop of materialistic want counters and idealized self-portraits, you'll only attract similarly stagnant admirers. Break free from the ego treadmill by developing a deep internal world forged from introspection about your genuine hopes, talents, and visions. Purpose breeds mutual respect and desire. Lesson 3. Decisiveness earns respect. High-value men decisively take the reins to turn their ambitions into reality, never wavering from their convictions. This applied assertiveness inspires both desire and respect from partners who admire the unwavering self-assuredness. In contrast, arrogant women conflate real confidence with rudeness, defensive hostility, and adversarial tests. Communication becomes tactical minefields devoid of genuine openness and connection. High-value men disengage from these draining psychodramas involving inconsistent hot-cold games and commitment-phobic tug-of-wars. Confidence inspires and uplifts, while arrogance uninterestingly manipulates. When an arrogant woman continually lashes out from insecurity and unresolved trauma, men initially attracted to her confidence lose patience. They seek partners who boldly take opportunities while also making them feel steadily secure and appreciated rather than worn down. Decisiveness is valuing yourself enough to cull distractions, not create them compulsively. Lesson 4. Introspection cultivates self-sufficiency. Arrogant women reflexively leech attention and validation from spinning plates of romantic prospects, afraid to spend periods developing self-actualization solo. High-value men don't urgently escape loneliness because they've already mastered being excellent company to themselves. They understand lasting self-love is the key to bonding with quality partners rather than pursuing deficient, insecure attachments. So during seasons of being unattached, they double down on enriching friendships, hobbies, introspection, and growth, the better to attract someone aligned with that fulfilled identity. Constantly isolating with men who reinforce your insecurities and narcissism is toxic. It breeds codependency rather than interdependence. Give yourself restorative solo experiences to cultivate multifaceted interests outside of romantic pursuit. Only then can you discerningly choose a teammate enhancing your self-sufficient identity, not a woefully incomplete part of yourself. Lesson 5. Enforcing boundaries preserves mutual respect. Upon encountering an arrogant woman's first emotional outburst or disrespectful boundary violation, a high-value man quickly identifies an underlying lack of self-control incompatible with his life. He establishes firm boundaries around unacceptable conduct and critically sticks by them without second chances. Mutual understanding must be continuously reinforced. Arrogant women, however, interpret the enforcement of basic human boundaries as restriction of their perceived entitlements. They become hostile, convinced they deserve to be carelessly hurtful without repercussions, subjecting partners to endless games of emotional chicken. High-value men don't fight these lost battles. They speak their piece about expected decent treatment once and, if rebuffed, consciously remove partners exhibiting patterns of consistent, arrogant disrespect from their lives. In doing so, they model self-respect and make it known they won't be with anyone who doesn't appreciate their boundaries. Lesson 6. Honesty allows genuine vulnerability. Arrogant women conceal their true thoughts and emotions behind plausible deniability, deflections, and maddening ambiguity as gambits to preserve fragile egos. But all this obfuscation does is sabotage intimacy and repel individuals seeking authentic connection. High-value men are unflinchingly straightforward and transparent about who they are and what they want. They voice their needs, goals, and boundaries clearly to partners who reciprocate that direct clarity. Inscrutable games and tests are non-starters. They only attract similarly insecure individuals with avoidant attachment styles. The arrogant woman's refusal to be vulnerably honest creates two tragic results. First, by never being upfront about her interest parameters, she's constantly stuck in go-nowhere situationships, analyzing mixed signals rather than sharing mutual directness. Second, compatible prospects, recognizing this flakiness, avoid potential emotional shallowness and simply move on. Lesson 7. Live life on your own terms. While the arrogant woman hungers for external validation, constantly adjusting herself to please prospective partners, the high-value man assumes any worthwhile partner will be attracted to the authentic version of himself. So he extends no apologies or unilateral sacrifices of identity in futile chasing behaviors. His calendar, personal values, and lifestyle boundaries remain firmly intact, shared generously but never compromised. He brings his abundant present into romantic pursuits rather than making emotionally diminishing bargains for a speculative future together. This communicates he has enough self-respect to forego codependent relationships. Arrogant women too often mistake this steadfast self-preservation as aloofness or self-absorption, ignorant of the underlying strength it stems from. But high-value men seek partners secure enough not to sublimate their identities or desecrate their own boundaries, chasing false hopes of someday feeling enough. Lesson 8. Accountability reciprocates care. Arguments and disagreements are inevitabilities in any intimate relationship. The key difference is how they're resolved in a spirit of mutual understanding and growth rather than egotistical scorekeeping. When issues arise, high-value men extend compassionate accountability by sharing their perspectives, owning their mistakes, and calmly restating relationship expectations. Provided their partner matches this commitment to working through matters, beautiful resolutions and deeper bonding occur. Arrogant women, incapable of accountability, only know reactivity and defenses. Minor misunderstandings devolve into scorched earth personal attacks, indignant stances, and self-martyring rather than cooperative problem-solving. To high-value men, these perpetual relational crises demonstrate an inability to prioritize the partnership's best interests over the ego's frail impulses. If you lack accountability's humility to identify and own your faults, you'll lose men who could have been devoted partners. Relationships then become cautionary tales of preemptive finger-pointing rather than preventative care and compassionate course correction. Lesson 9. Graciousness sustains attraction. Arrogant women frequently mistake confidence for a license to be callously blunt or rude under the misguided belief it makes them more respected. In reality, high-value men are turned off by partners who unnecessarily diminish others or create harsh social environments. High-value men certainly believe in being direct and authentic, but they temper this honesty with graciousness, treating everyone from loved ones to strangers with an underlying respect and emotional sensitivity. This graciousness isn't weakness but a sign of sufficient confidence not to need to dominate every socialization. An arrogant woman's gratuitous sarcasm, dismissiveness of others' perspectives, and general self-importance act like interpersonal sandpaper. It slowly erodes any intrigued high-value man's initial attraction over time as he realizes her proclaimed self-assuredness is really just unchecked insecurity being directed outward. By consciously filtering your communication through graciousness, you don't sacrifice directness. You strengthen it by cultivating awareness of what motivates your candor. Is it resolved self-beliefs you can speak from centeredness, or unresolved emotions that could use more introspection before being bluntly expressed? Lesson 10. Humility develops continual growth. At their core, arrogant women suffer from entitled perfectionist thought patterns that make them adversarial partners rather than collaborative ones. They treat feedback or requests for change as brutal critiques on their character rather than opportunities to evolve. In contrast, high-value men embrace a mentality of perpetual growth. They voice desires for their partners to enhance certain behaviors while taking ownership of their own areas for self-improvement. But these requests arise from humble appreciations that all humans are works in progress, not arrogant demands that a finished product radically transform. If your first instinct upon receiving a partner's suggestion is defensive backlash about how amazingly perfect you already are, that's arrogance inhibiting growth. High-value men don't seek partners who remain stagnant and environment-resistant, but rather ones who approach relationships as opportunities to elevate each other through vulnerable self-work. View courtships as collaborative team-building efforts where you're both coaches striving to bring out the best in each other. Approach desired changes with curiosity about your partner's perspective rather than preemptive, arrogant arguments about how unreasonable the requests are. Over time, this cultivates deeper intimacies. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe this video.